So Grand Theft Auto Online is arguably one of the biggest games of all time, drawing in millions of players across the many years since its release across all last gen, current gen and soon to be next gen consoles and PCs. As most of you know by now, the main draw of the game is to make as much money as possible and to own everything, doing as you please within the sandbox that is Los Santos. But if you don't know what you're doing, it can be a very difficult challenge to rise from a simple street thug to a notorious criminal kingpin with an ever-increasing empire. In this video, I will be teaching you how to go from 0 to millions as quickly as possible and advising you on some very important purchases to help along the way. If you follow this guide exactly, I promise you, you will get results. But quick disclaimer, certain activities like heists will require multiple people to complete, so if you can, find a crew of like-minded people to play with, but if not, you can always skip these steps and focus solely on businesses, but more on that later. Now as with anything, it's not going to be easy. You'll start out with absolutely nothing but a pistol and nothing to your name. Before we get into making money, I suggest signing up to the Rockstar Social Club in order to be able to claim a free Anis Elegy sports car from Legendary Motorsport once you have an apartment with a 10-car garage. At this point, there are a few ways to get an initial startup. Contact missions, adversary modes and races are generally quick fun ways to get between 20 and 30k depending on whether you win or lose or how long you take. For instance, mission payouts are increased based on time spent in that mission, so I suggest running down the clock till it shows under 2 minutes, then completing missions on hard where possible. The social club contains many custom playlists made by the community with the best paying missions back to back in order to increase money acquired per hour. Don't forget to check in-game or on the GTA Online subreddit to see each week's double money and RP activities to maximise profit at this stage. In free mode, you can register as a VIP for a maximum of 4 hours and activate VIP missions every 10 minutes or so to once again make a quick 20 to 30k. The best method is to alternate between Sightseer, which involves 3 hacks and collecting 3 packages, and Headhunter, where you have to go around the map assassinating designated targets. Usually there are around 5 of these. As well as this, there are also multiple different free mode challenges like the Red Dead Redemption 2 treasure hunt and bounty missions from Maud and the serial killer mystery, each of which will grant you a weapon from that game and upon getting 50 headshots on NPCs will give 250,000 apiece. Flight School is also an option, granting around the same amount for completing all the missions. However, these can get pretty difficult, so I'll leave it up to you to judge whether they're worth the time and potential stress. In between all these things, I deliver random cars to LS Customs and go after random bounties that you find in free mode, because at the end of the day, it all adds up. Now by this time, you should have at least 1 million in the bank, so I suggest purchasing a high-end apartment from Dynasty 8 in order to open yourselves up to the original 5 heists. These come with a 10-car garage as standard, so redeem the Anis Elegy from earlier and store it here. You can usually buy these for about 200,000 for a decent one. Find a friend and do the fleecer job, which nets a total payout of 143,750 on hard between the two of you, as well as an extra 100,000 first time bonus and an elite challenge that you can do as well. It's worth noting that you must be at least rank 12 to set up this heist. Since this first stage is just the beginning, it is advisable to continue grinding out these methods until reaching 2.5 million and being able to purchase your first business. However, if you have 4 heist members available, you can begin setting up the next heist, getting loyalty, all in order, and first time bonuses for completing all 5, while also playing adversary modes and doing these other methods to keep the gameplay loop relatively fresh. Prison Break on hard mode gives about 500k, Humane Labs Raid gives 675k, Series A funding gives 505k, and Pacific Standard gives around 1,250,000. Now you should have around 2.5 mil. Just enough to purchase the Maze Bank West CEO office and your first business, the La Mesa Vehicle Warehouse. The office costs around 1 million and the vehicle warehouse costs 1.5 million, which adds up to that price. This is by far the best business in the game, especially for solo players, as it can be done with up to 4 people. The basic gist of the business is quite simple. Steal cars of various ranges, low, mid and top, select a buyer, then sell the car for a profit, increasing based on said range. Now as the range increases, the difficulty and length of the missions increase alongside it, with the top range missions generally being the hardest, and believe me, there are some very annoying ones in there. The personal advice for this business, which everyone should definitely follow, will seem slow at first, but worth it in the long run, and that is to only ever sell top range cars. There are only 10 low, 10 mid, and 12 top range cars, and you can only collect each car once at a time. By saving all 20 low and mid range cars, you are ensuring that you can only ever source top range cars, making a profit of 80,000 per car when selling to the specialist dealer. The number of cars that can be sold at a time depend on the number of people in your organisation, so either source multiple cars first, then sell as a group, or steal 2, sell 1 and do Sightseer or Headhunter VIP missions in between. With multiple vehicles, look out for specific collections that give a small bonus when sold together, but I suggest only doing this for the collections of only top range cars. By grinding out the import-export business, you can then get enough money for future investments and businesses. At this point, I'd move on to the bunker and then the MC businesses, starting with coke, then meth, cash, weed, then forged documents, as these all work best in unison and fully upgraded for maximum profit alongside the import-export. The interesting thing about the bunker and biker businesses are that they are completely passive, meaning that once you've accrued supplies, they produce stock all by themselves. You either have the option of stealing supplies or buying them, but I'd always recommend buying them. Although this may seem like you're getting less money, you're actually saving time and selling more often, meaning more money is made per hour or per day in the long run, especially as you purchase more and more of the businesses and they're all working together. In terms of a bunker, which I'd get first, I'd save a little extra and buy the Chumash bunker on the left highway for around 1.6 mil. It's by far the best location with the shortest drop-offs, about midway between Los Santos and Blaine County. But since it actually counts as Blaine County, the further delivery isn't far at all and is in Los Santos. With this, you can either set your staff to produce stock or research, but for the purpose of this video, we want them to produce stock. One full bar of bunker supplies takes about 2 hours and 20 minutes to be used up and generates around 200,000. If you're doing this solo, I'd just sell at this point, then continue to resupply, use up one more bar, then sell again every few hours. If you have people willing to help sell, ideally at least 3 others, allow the stock to fully produce and sell after around 11 hours of the game being open. The more stock, typically, the more delivery vehicles there will be, which is why you have to set stock price limits to prevent this if you have less people. In terms of bunkers, if you don't want to get that one, you might want to get one a bit cheaper. That's fine. All I'd suggest is never ever go for the Palito Bay bunker. If you're doing any sort of missions, selling missions, or any sort of stealing missions from the Palito Bay bunker, it'll just be hell on earth. In terms of missions, you'll get 15 minutes to deliver, and half the time, if you've got multiple vehicles, you're not going to be making all of those deliveries. Now, the biker businesses all work in exactly the same way, giving less money per business, but together more money more often. Start off by buying them in order of profit. Coke first, then meth, then cash, weed, and possibly documents at a later time if you want to, but that barely makes a profit, so that doesn't matter as much. My suggestion for these is to always buy the cheapest, which are located in Sandy Shores, as they're all relatively close to each other, and make selling missions quicker. You'll thank me for not having to drive the post-op vans or garbage trucks up the winding roads of Vinewood Hills. So the coke costs around 975k and gives about 420k profit fully upgraded. The meth costs 910k and gives about 357k at every sale. Cash costs 845k and gives about 294k. Weed costs 715k and gives about 252k. And documents cost 650k and gives 126k every sale. Same deal here as the bunker. Limit your stock level if you're solo and sell at full if you have friends if you want to. You'll only ever get a maximum of 4 delivery vehicles per mission. Now don't forget, while your businesses are producing stock, continue to steal and sell top range cars, complete sightseer and headhunter VIP missions, and do heists. These methods are all most effective when used together. No particular business makes the most, but altogether your bank balance is guaranteed to increase very quickly. Over time, it is essential for you to purchase all equipment and staff upgrades for these businesses to increase stock capacity and production speed, but these can cost anywhere from a couple $100,000 to 1.5 mil depending on which business it is. So if you enjoy heists and have gotten bored of repeating the original 5 over and over and over again, it's time to venture forth and try out some new ones. For this, you'll need one of 2 properties: the arcade for the casino heist, which is the most recent update to the game. I suggest the Video Garden arcade near the right highway, or the facility for the Doomsday heist, which in my opinion is down to personal preference, but once again, don't get the Palito Bay one, you'll thank me later. Now the casino heist, which makes more money, has 3 different approaches. Silent and sneaky, which is arguably the hardest, mainly due to the many glitches of security cameras and guard patrols. Big con, the easiest, especially when done with the Group 6 gear and an undetected approach. And then aggressive, which involves running into the casino and gunning down everyone in sight. With the 3 possible vault contents, you can either get cash, which generally nets about 2.4 mil if you get everything, artwork with around 2.6 mil, and gold, which can stretch to 2.9 mil. You can also get lockboxes and stuff in between this to add a bit on extra, and with the silent and sneaky, there's a little extra vault you can rob for an extra 50 to 100k. Now these heists are the most customizable, as you're able to pick every separate approach and outfit to undertake the heists as you see fit. These can be done with 2 to 4 people. These are more like the heists found in story mode, so if you've done story mode and enjoyed those heists, I definitely recommend giving this a try because these will be the best for you. Now the Doomsday heist functions as 3 separate heists in 3 acts, with Act 1 giving 812,500 on hard, Act 2 giving 1,187,500, and Act 3 giving 1,500,000 on hard. Like the original 5 heists, these feature all-in-order challenges, elite challenges, first-time bonuses, and separate loyalty for 2 players, 3 players, and 4 players. This is exactly the same as the original heist in terms of setups and finales, however each setup requires a prep or 2 in addition. Don't forget to try the Criminal Mastermind Challenge on the original heist for the ultimate task and a nice 10 million to go with it. There are also Criminal Mastermind challenges on the Doomsday heist, but not the Casino heist. The Casino heist is one of my favourite money making methods in the game, as if you have multiple people, for instance 4, and each person sets up a heist, you can get 4 heists done per day. Now depending on how you do the different cuts, it can be 60-40 if you've got 2 people, or 25 all across the board, or whatnot, depending on how you do it. If you get 4 heists, everybody gets 100% cut in the end anyway, out of the possible 400%. Now, each person can probably get about 2 million if you get really lucky with the kind of vault contents, if you get artwork and gold. And then if you go for the Elite Challenge, each person gets an extra 100k for every time that you complete that as well. This is extremely efficient, especially if you're setting up at least 4 heists a day, which myself and my crew do, and earn at least 2 million a day. Now, let's say, for instance, we set up 2 heists a day, that's 4 million a day. And then as well as the other businesses, we can get millions every single day without fail. In the last few months, I've gone from literally scrounging and having just a mil to literally sitting around 30 million and never going below that unless I go on a massive spending spree, which is why I own a lot of stuff in the game now. I own most vehicles, I own most cars, I own every business fully upgraded, and it is an absolute dream. It's so easy to make money now compared to when I first started, and if I'm going to recommend any method, I 100% recommend the Casino heist as the best alongside cars. By this time, you should have loads of money and can invest in loads of other businesses such as the nightclub, crate warehouse, air freight business, and arena workshop. Now with the crate warehouse, I'd always purchase a large warehouse, because even if you only want to sell 16 crates, you can actually sell any number of crates in the warehouse, up to 111, with a maximum value of 4.4 mil, at 3 crates per mission for 18k each, and 37 missions to fill a singular warehouse. You can actually buy up to 5 of these. Now, if you're wondering why you wouldn't buy each crate individually as it's cheaper, what we're talking about here is money made per hour. Now, if you're buying the cheapest for 2k each, you're actually doing 111 missions to fill up a full warehouse, whereas it's only 37 missions paying 18k to fill up a full warehouse for that to get 4.4 mil. It would take a lot longer, and in the end, it would actually, like I said earlier, involve in less money made per hour. The air freight business is relatively similar, however you can only source crates and not purchase them, and you can only source the same number of crates as associates in your organisation. This is one of the least profitable businesses for money made per hour, and to be honest, I don't really use this one. The only reason I have it is just to store all my aircraft in the hangar, which is in Fort Sancudo. The arena workshop is less of a money making method and more of an interesting to have adversary mode property. So it doesn't make that much money in the long run, but if you want to have a bit of a mess around with your friends and vehicles and just play around the adversary modes and the new stuff, then yeah, I guess give it a go. The nightclub's a property that should only be purchased after obtaining every other business apart from the 3 I've just mentioned, as it works as a sort of central hub and side operation to each of them. It is advisable to hire all 5 staff members and the equipment upgrade to maximise profit, as this is the most passive business in the game, requiring no participation after purchase until a sale is required. This takes up to 66 hours to produce around 1.8 mil, but with all businesses together, you're sure to make a pretty penny. Along the way, there are some very useful purchases that can be made to help speed things up on a mission-to-mission basis. For heists, it's always useful to have an armoured car, so I'd either get the armoured crewman with the trade price you unlock from the freezer job that will cost around 500,000, or I'd get an insurgent or an insurgent pickup custom. It's your choice, but I'd suggest the armoured crewman for cheapness. For VIP missions and getting around the map quickly, I'd buy a buzzard for 1,750,000, which can be spawned directly in front of you at any time when in a CEO, whether that's yours or anybody else's. And when the funds allow for it, I'd also purchase a nightclub, which I've already mentioned, a terabyte with a weapon workshop, and an oppressor Mark II. Not for griefing, mind you, but for the simple fact that it makes heist setups and free mode missions a breeze, and you'll never look back. It just makes everything so much quicker. Now that all's been said and done, that was my Grinder's Guide to Grand Theft Auto Online from 0 to millions. I hope you all find it useful and that you'll be on your way to all becoming criminal kingpins in the world of Los Santos. If you did, then please leave a like and subscribe. Your support is greatly appreciated. Don't forget to tune in for more videos on GTA 5 and other great games, and I will see you all later.